All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to bring you a special emergency Bitcoin update. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin and some of the Bitcoin miners. Bitcoin broke a major line of support, so I wanted to do a video and quickly talk about, is it time to panic? What line of support did we break? Where are we headed? Where are some potential other lines of support that we may catch ourselves at? So a lot to go through. I just want to get this out to you guys quickly, so I'm going to try and go as fast as I can, but we definitely are in new territory where we have not been in a few months. So I wanted to get something out to everybody and take a closer look. Okay, first thing, real quick, we'll just look at the Bitcoin miner big board. You're going to see everything is red right now with the exception of BitDeer. Now, BitDeer's been an outlier almost every single day for weeks now, so I'm almost not paying attention to it. BitDeer notwithstanding, this board is red, and there's some numbers that are deeply red. CleanSpark's down over 11%. RIOT, which is the largest by market cap out of all the Bitcoin miners, is down over 8%. Marathon's down over 9%. Some of the bigger Bitcoin miners are making big moves to the downside. So it does vary. There's a lot of these down 5 or 6%. A couple of these are only down 1 or 2%. So I'll leave this up for a minute. You can take a look and find your Bitcoin miner. But more importantly, these Bitcoin miners are reacting to Bitcoin, and they're reacting to the fact that Bitcoin has broken an important level of support. So I really want to focus on Bitcoin, and then we'll come back and take a look at a few specific Bitcoin miners for a minute later. So let's go over to the Bitcoin chart. I'm going to start on the 15-minute time frame. So this is very zoomed in. So I just want to show you, this really illustrates we've taken a turn to the downside over the last 24 hours. For those of you new to the channel, the orange line here is where Bitcoin was when the US equity markets closed yesterday. So if you watch the channel, you'll always see that line. So you can see we have taken a move down from that. So we're currently down about 3.7% from that. So that's a big move to the downside. But more importantly, we crossed a line of support. This line right here at 28,800, there's a red line. That has been an extremely strong line of support. I was hoping to potentially hold and call a short-term bottom, but that did not happen. So now it's time to take a look at what is next. So I really want to put this in perspective because I know sometimes when we have moves like this, people panic. So I want to look and talk about, is there reason to panic? Is it time to panic? And if it's not time to panic, when would it be time to panic? Okay, so here we are zoomed out to the one-day time frame. So now you're going to see back in June of 2023, so June 21st, that's almost 2 months ago, we had a nice run up. You see on June 21st, we went back above 28,800. We have stayed above that every single day. Every daily candle has closed above that ever since. Okay, I'm going to zoom way out for just a moment just to show you how far back this line of support goes. You're going to see in January of 2021, after we had our first very big run up, you're going to see we came down and candle wick down here on the 1 week time frame down to this line at 28,800. So right after that, we ran straight up to $64,000. But then by the summer in June of 2021, so that's over 2 years ago, once again, we retested, we candle wicked on the weekly time frame right exactly down to this 28,800. So you can see this is a multiple year line of support. Once this line failed here in May of 2022, we spent the better part of 8 or 9 months below that line. So I just wanted to zoom out and show you big picture why I think this is such a very strong long-term line of support / resistance. Okay, so back to the one-day time frame, you can see as soon as we closed the daily candle, we never really candle wicked back up. It's just been pretty much down in a straight line since then. This is what happens when we lose a line of support. So currently, as I'm speaking, we now are under 28,000. So we're accelerating to the downside. And again, this is the middle of the day. I don't know where this daily candle is going to end, but unless something dramatic happens, it looks like clearly this is going to be a red daily candle, and this is going to be a day that opens and closes below the $28,800 line. So that confirms the break to the downside. So we've been talking about the potential for this to happen for quite some time on the channel and what some potential price targets were if we do break below this line. So now we have broken below the line. I want to show you two different potential lines of support that I think are important. Okay, the first one, I've added a green line here. This is the 200-day simple moving average. So since we moved above this in January of 2023, we have spent basically the entire year above the 200-day simple simple moving average. You can see this yellow line right here, I will show you in a minute. This is one of the higher lows on our bull cycle that I think we're still in the middle of. And you'll see this came right down. We did have one day that candle wicked and tested this 200-day moving average. It held up, it closed above that. So every single day since we crossed this line, we have been above the 200-day moving average. So if we look at where that sits right now, that's at around 27,300. So we've been talking about somewhere between 27,200 and 27,500 as the next potential line of support. We've been mentioning that for about a month and a half on this channel. So now that we've broken out below 28.8, this is what I'm looking at. I'm going to show you one other very important line that's actually a little bit higher than this. Okay, so I've added to this the 200-week moving average. This is an extremely powerful line of support. We've only been below this line 3 times in the history of Bitcoin. The first 2 times we went below the 200-week simple moving average, we recovered between 1 day and 1 week, and we stayed above it. So the only time really in the history of Bitcoin that we actually went below this line and stayed below for a considerable period of time was this crypto winter. So if I zoom in, you're going to see the 200-week moving average is a little bit above the 200-day moving average. This is sitting somewhere in the 27,450 range. So that's why I think we've been pretty accurate calling the next potential line of support somewhere between 27,200 and 27,500. So I'm sticking to that. You'll see 2 very strong lines of support right here. I do think it is vital. I asked the question earlier, when is it time to panic? If these 2 lines don't hold, that is going to be a potential indicator that we are moving out of what has really been an 8 or 9 month bull market. I think that these will hold. I think the bull market continues. However, we are having a significant test here. So there will be 2 things. The first one is, can these 2 averages hold, on the daily time frame? Can we stay above these 2 averages? If not, there's a line at 25,200, this purple line. That's what I call a higher low in our current bull market. So I'm going to zoom out and show you that in a minute. If we start closing daily candles below this line at $25,200, this purple line right here, then I would say that would be a very strong indication that there has been a reversal and we have moved out of this 8 or 9 month bull market into a bear market. Now, we'll have to play that by ear. That doesn't mean that we're going down to new all-time lows, but this would definitely be a dramatic switch in the momentum. And so short term, sometime over the next several months, if that happens, I would expect a few months of bear market ahead at least. I'm not anticipating that, so this is not financial advice, but I do think this 200-day and 200-week moving average, somewhere in here we are going to find support in my opinion, but I would not be surprised at all if we test these numbers. In fact, I think it would be most healthy to test these numbers. I'm going to show you one more thing here. This is the entire bull market. I've put a yellow arrow in here. At the moment, we continue this bullish cycle. So we are 8 or 9 months solidly into a bullish cycle. You can see in that time frame, we had a pretty big pullback right here. That took a couple of months. I think we're in the middle of another one right here, and we're getting close to a few months into the middle of that. So I do think right now all indications would still be that this 8 or 9 month bullish trend line that we have, I think continues. But I've given you a few points to pay close attention to. If I switch over to the daily RSI, you're going to see we've had, each time that I have this yellow line here for a higher low, the daily RSI reset itself. So back in March, it got all the way to oversold territory. That is the natural order of things. So 30 or below is considered oversold territory in general on the daily RSI. Intraday here, we are now below 30. So it is going to be important to see where this closes on the daily time frame. It would be nice. I know nobody wants to see downward action, but if the day continues out this way and we can close somewhere at or below 30 on the daily RSI, that doesn't mean that today is the bottom, but I do think that that would mean there's a strong indicator if we can go sideways over the next couple of days, maybe bounce off that point of support somewhere between 27,200 and 27,500. All those things put together would be an indication that we've set the next higher low in this bull market. If those things fail, we're going to have to reassess. So to me, it is not yet time to panic. I asked at the beginning, is it time to panic? I do not believe so, but I've given you some price targets where, it's time to get worried, and then some other targets where maybe it would be time to panic. I don't think those are going to happen. It looks to me currently in the middle of the day, we are at 29.15 on the daily RSI. So if we finish somewhere in that neighborhood, we just ticked under 29 as I speak. So if we can finish the day out here, then we will have taken the full cycle from overbought on the daily RSI 2 months ago to finally today being into oversold territory. I think that would bode well. So again, that doesn't mean we turn around tomorrow and run straight up, but I do think this would be one of the indicators. I think we're going to see a lot of indicators over the next maybe 3 or 4 days that signal that this is the next bottom and we start the next leg up on this bull market. So I'm still looking for Bitcoin to run up to 35,000. That's what I think is going to happen, but I've given you my warning signals if any of those things happen. I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts. Are you guys panicking? Do you have other price targets? What do you think is going on here? So please remember to subscribe to the channel, and you can smash the like button. It does help the channel out a lot, and of course, you can hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time we make a video. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next one.